Hi Tom, Richard here. I wanted to go through a few more questions that you might have about coming to Japan. You're probably on top of most things, but I'm going to read through some of the questions recommended in this general information handbook. Hopefully they'll be useful. At the moment I'm in the junior high school English classroom. This is it here. A quick tour. Yeah, it's a whiteboard, some English stuff. This corner here is going to be your corner. You can do whatever you want with it. And yeah, a lot of writing, cards, things that students have made, English diaries, things like that. It's a nice classroom. It's quite unusual to have a dedicated English classroom, especially in Japan. But since the school's kind of large as it is, we've got a dedicated classroom, which is pretty cool. Today's really warm. It's really humid, so I'm going to have this fan on, so apologies if it interferes with the audio. Oh, lost the page. Oh, that's... Okay, I'm going to find it. Okay, I found it. Okay, so I'm going to read out some of these questions. Brief self-introduction. Okay, well you know me, my name's Richard, I've lived in Naoshima for a while. I'm going back to Scotland to be a graphic designer. That's me. Okay, contact details. You've got my email address and you've got my Skype account, so if ever you're in an emergency and you're like, oh my god, what's going on? You can just email me or Skype me, I'll probably be logged on. I can give you my phone number if you need it, but there won't be much, you'll be fine. There are people you can contact and people will help you. But if you really need to get in contact with me, then I'll give you that. Okay, if you will be staying in Japan when your successor arrives. Originally, I really wanted to meet you before I left, but I've had trouble with my visa. I'm having to leave on July 26th. It's my last day of work, and I have to leave. So I was planning on staying in Japan for another couple of weeks and doing a little bit more travelling, but it's going to be impossible to extend my visa, so I'm heading off home on 26th. Which kind of sucks, but it'll be alright. And you'll be fine yourself. I've spoken to a bunch of the teachers and I think they're going to be really supportive. I'll try and help you with the internet, because that really stumped me when I came. I didn't get internet till like November. So I'll see if I can help you with that from the UK. Okay, pre-departure information, what to pack, clothes, shoes, gifts, etc. Let's see, clothes, it's going to be really warm. When I came, I didn't bring that much clothes actually. I foolishly packed like loads of books and stuff as gifts, and the books were really heavy and I hardly had any clothes when I got here. But after you get your first payslip, I don't know, I'm kind of small for British standards, but average for Japanese standards, so I've never had any trouble finding clothes. I'm not sure how tall you are, but you'll definitely be able to find stuff here. And in fact, most of the clothes I own now I bought in Japan. I don't think I've got very few clothes that I brought with me. So yeah, I think I wouldn't worry too much about it. I mean, bring what stuff you like, but and in terms of the winter clothes, I mean, you could get it shipped. I recently just sent a bunch of boxes to the post service, and it was really simple, really simple. I'm sure the British Mail or whatever they're called, I'm sure they've got a service that ship it, and it wasn't that expensive. I think it was like maybe £80 for a like 15kg box, which is pretty reasonable, I thought. So if you really want to send like winter clothes, you could do that, because you won't be needing them when you get here, and you are limited for space in your suitcase. I think it's like 20 kilograms or something like that. It's ridiculous for the life you're going to be starting. So yeah, that's what I have to say for clothes. Shoes, yeah, I think we talked about this last time. I think you're going to have trouble. I think you're probably just a couple of sizes too big. You'll be able to order online, so that's one option for getting shoes, but you're going to need outdoor shoes, maybe like trainers or whatever, and then you're going to need formal outdoor shoes for suits and things like that. And then you're going to need a bunch of indoor shoes, probably one pair for the elementary school and one pair for the junior high school. You've got a shoe box and you'll be able to keep your indoor shoes in that. But actually, that's probably all you'll need. I mean, I'd recommend 4 pairs of shoes, but you know, they really add weight to your suitcase, but it's one of those things you're just going to have to bring. When you visit the kindergarten, I usually just take my shoes from the elementary school and just wear them inside. But they're quite, you know, it's a big deal. You know, you really have to change your shoes whenever you go inside, and before you know it, it'll become second nature to you. You know, you'll marvel at the fact that you used to keep your shoes on in the house. I'm sure when I go home, I'll be taking them off. Okay, what not to pack? Well, as I said, big heavy books. There are better gifts to give than books, and to be honest, I've never really seen them look at any of the books I've given them, so I wouldn't recommend books as a sort of gift. Oh yeah, gifts, omiyage. When you come, it's kind of customary to give some kind of gift. When I came, I brought a bunch of shortbread, and that was stupid because you can buy that here in Japan, loads of it. It's widely available, and if you're really concerned about that, there's a foreign food store that you could just buy stuff in, you know, and just say you brought it from your own country, because they'd never know. There's a lot of sort of British stuff, you know. What's good to give? Once I brought you don't want to bring chocolate because it's going to melt. It's going to melt real quick. Sort of hard candies are quite good. If you can bring maybe that's, but it needs to be individually wrapped. They don't like eating things from like an open container. They prefer if it had its own wrapping and you can just leave it on the desks of people. It's something small. It's really tough actually. I brought flying saucers, and they went down a storm. They loved it because, you know, like the sort of synthetic sort of weird candy thing with the sherbet in the middle. Yeah, they really loved them, but again, they weren't individually wrapped, so they weren't easy to give out. I really only gave them to the people who were in the room at the time. Yeah, it's real tough actually. Key rings might be good, but you know, like, they're expensive. I don't really know. Some kind of like individually wrapped biscuit that isn't chocolate. Is there such a thing? Doubt it. But you want to probably bring a slightly larger gift for maybe the superintendent. His name's Oka Sensei, Choikucho Oka. And maybe, I don't know, it's kind of tough. I wouldn't worry overly about it. I mean, I would try and give something to most of the people you'll be working with on a daily basis, but keep it small. It's not about the, you know, the value. It's more about just the gesture of giving a gift. But yes, I would give maybe slightly larger gifts to. It's funny because you've got to give it to the people who, I don't know, who have a sort of high status. But then again, that kind of doesn't make sense. You're probably better about giving it just to the people who are going to be helping you the most. So that would be people like the elementary school teacher, Hamanaka Sensei, and the junior high school teacher, maybe Kyoto Sensei. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that. Yeah, it's a tough one. I struggled with it when I came, and I still struggle with it now. Okay, what not to pack? Yeah, books, don't pack books. Winter stuff you could buy here or get shipped. Yeah. You probably know yourself. Just, you've got limited space, so really try and bring the stuff that's important to you. What to send ahead? Yeah, winter clothing, books. If you want to bring any books, but just bear in mind that you'll have to ship the books back again when you're leaving. So that's just it's probably something you could do without. And you can get a lot of books like digitally these days. What you will need during Tokyo orientation and in the host prefecture. Okay, remind your successor that they will only be in Tokyo for 3 days, so they should pack light. Ah, that's right. So I think what happens is you'll take your suitcase, your big suitcase, and your small suitcase. The small suitcase is hand luggage, and you should try and pack all the stuff which is you're going to be using in Tokyo into. It's kind of difficult to do it, but just like your suits and changes of clothes and anything you think you're going to need for those 3 days in Tokyo, you want to pack that into your hand luggage. The rest of the stuff is just the stuff not just everything else. And I think, if I'm right, I'm trying to remember, I think that suitcase gets taken away from you at the airport in Tokyo, and then from there it gets shipped directly to Naoshima. I can't remember. Anyway, I would pack the stuff you need for Tokyo in your hand luggage. Okay, so that includes your suits. That's the most important thing. You can probably get away with one suit, with a couple of changes of shirts. It's probably fine. Let's see, about your city, town or village location. Naoshima is in the Seto Inland Sea. It's 13 kilometers from Takamatsu City, which is the main city, capital city of Kagawa Prefecture. Kagawa Prefecture is in Shikoku. Shikoku is the smallest island of Japan's 4 main islands, and Kagawa is situated on the northern tip of Shikoku. It's kind of flat plateau, and it's got quite a high population despite the small size of the prefecture. It's the smallest prefecture in Japan. It used to be second smallest, but ironically the smallest prefecture was Osaka, and they took like, I don't know, materials, earth and stone from our prefecture to increase, like, you know how they make the man-made sort of, it's just kind of like offshore, kind of, to increase the sort of land space. So now Osaka is second largest and Kagawa is smallest. Just a bit of useless trivia. So Naoshima's population is about 3,500, and the majority of the population is they work for Mitsubishi Materials. There's a large percentage of the population who are employed in the tourist industry. You know, people who work in the museums, who own cafes, restaurants, stuff like that. Let's see what else. Geography of Naoshima is quite hilly, but it's nothing compared to some of the other islands. You can cycle around it. There's a few pretty steep points, but they're more sort of in the more rural areas of the island. And you can cycle probably right around in about maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So that maybe gives you quite a good idea of the size.